All right, what's your plan of attack for tomorrow?
I'm going to freak out as hard as I possibly can. That is my goal every day. I'm not even kidding.
Cool.
That's what's up.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys, what's going on? We are back. Week number 5. Who's number 1 here on Cycling Dirt? We got a great weekend to get to. It is the World Cup. It's back in action. Sven Nys, Katie Compton doing big things over there in the Czech Republic. The U.S. riders, the whole North American contingent, also having some great rides. Cyclo-cross on the West Coast. Some great action there. Some big names going west to California. A little side note here. Where's all the UCI racing in California? How many? We spend like 24 weekends in Maine, in Colorado, in Washington, sitting in the freezing rain, in the snow. I wouldn't mind going to California a few more times a year, especially November and December. Somebody out there, make that happen. All right, from the West Coast to the East Coast this weekend, we were in Granogue, the pride of the Mid-Atlantic there in Delaware. Some great coverage from Tom P. Check out the links below, videos, interviews, the whole nine. We had some riders from Colorado, some riders from the West Coast coming in, battling some of the Northeast's finest. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, your women's rankings this week. All right, World Cup this weekend, the big race over there in the Czech Republic. Take a look at the front end of that race. 6 riders in the top 14, either US or started their seasons in the US racing cross. Now, you guys know what that means. Your jump of the week this week. Real quick though, last week's drop of the week, Mo Bruno making up for her poor showing in Providence, goes over to the World Cup, 20th place over there. Great ride for Mo. Now your actual jump of the week this week, coming in to 17th place in the rankings, coming all the way back from in the 30s. It's Devin Gorey, Devin Haskell, whatever you want to call her. She was out there in Cyclo-cross. 4th place, both days. Great ride for Devin. Moving up, number 8 and number 7 this week. Nicole Duke and Meredith Miller, both riders over there in the Czech Republic for the World Cup. Nicole Duke, a great ride for her first European cross race, first World Cup. Might have even done better if it weren't for a little bit of an unusual handicap.
Thought I had 11th in the bag, which I was happy with for my first World Cup. And then I had a little spill on the downhill and both my shoes flew off. So that was a first for me.
Number 6 this week, the winner, not at Cyclo-cross, not at Granogue, obviously not at the World Cup, at the Island Championships in Canada. Michael Dick takes down all the other women there. On Sunday, comes back 8th place in the men's race. 8th place in the men's race at the Kona Cup for Michael Dick. We got women on these rankings. They can't even go top 10 in the women's race. This rider taking 8th place in the elite men. Number 5 this week, Caroline Mani, the French woman, boom, taking 2 wins both days in Cyclo-cross. The beginning of the season, it was Helen Wyman, Ian Fields. It was the British taking down the wins here in the US. Now, it is the French. Caroline taking both days. Look for her to do big things the remainder of the season as long as she's here in the US. All right, moving up. Number 4, Georgia Gould didn't race this weekend. Number 3, making a big jump within the top 10, 6th place at the World Cup, Amy Dombrowski, only about a minute and a half off the winner, about 6 seconds off Helen Wyman in 5th place. Looks like she's having a great start to her full season over there in Europe. All right, moving up, your top 2 this weekend. No surprises here. Katie Compton takes down all the women in the world at the World Cup. The champ is back. Your US national champion on the top spot right now, number 1. Katarina Nash, number 2. A great ride for Nash, 3rd there at the World Cup. Could have even been 2nd, had a little bit of a bobble, but we'll look next weekend. We go back to Czech Republic, another World Cup, the home country for Katarina. Maybe she can do it again, but for now, it is Compton on top all day, every day, maybe all season long. Could be the start of a long year of Katie Compton in the number 1 spot. All right, guys, let's get started. Your men's rankings this week. Seriously, cameraman on the start line. Can we get a restart?
No. Just go.
Seriously, we can't restart this?
Just go.
All right, guys, we'll start this off with an observation this weekend. There are a lot of Canadians down there. This year in the rankings, almost a quarter of our top 40 men come from Canada. We see the riders up there in the front, like Kabush, Chris Shepard is in there, but especially in the 20 to 40 spot, a lot of great fill in there coming from the great northern country of Canada. All right, Cross Crusade. This past weekend, Aaron Tuckerman taking down Sean Babcock. A great rivalry there going on in the Northwest. Moving up, that's right, your jump of the week. But before we can get there, as always, your drop of the week. Now this week, there was more competition for the drop of the week than there was for the jump. 2 riders highly contesting that battle. Number 1, Jeremy Duran out of the Northeast. We were generous last week, Jeremy. We put you on the list. You go down to Granogue, can't even finish a race. Saturday, Sunday, the double DNF, off the rankings. If you want to be ranked first, you have to actually finish the race. Except maybe if you're Aaron Schooler, who is our actual drop of the week, goes from, I think it was 27th in the rankings last week to completely off the rankings this week. Outside the top 40, goes, I think it was 11th and 12th at Cyclo-cross. tough ride for the Canadian there. Now, your actual jump of the week. Another Canadian filling his shoes. It was Mark Batty, the great young rider from Canada, goes second and fourth in Granogue. He's looking to do great things. Canadian National Championships coming around the corner here. Look for Mark Batty to really start to step up his game. Number 15 this week, Troy Wells. Great battle for him on the East Coast in Granogue. Number 14 this week, and still number 14, despite all the hate you guys left in the comments, is Justin Lindeen. I know, the East Coasters, you guys want him up there. Put him number 5, put him number 1. You guys think that we just pick numbers out of thin air here to rank our riders. I'll have you know this is a very scientific process. If you'd like to take a look at our calculations, you can see here below. Now, if you take a look at the screen, this is a equation that we put together, X representing everybody that Justin Lindeen has beat this season. Now, Y representing everyone who has beat Justin Lindeen this season, or a rider who has beat a rider who has beat Justin Lindeen this season. Now, the J represents Justin Lindeen. So you'll see riders who have finished behind him, ranked behind him, riders who have finished in front of him, ranked in front of him. I know it's complicated. All right, guys, if that's not enough for you, we have one more piece of scientific evidence for you. It's another graph. This one represents how high you would rank Justin Lindeen based on the area of the country in which you currently live. So you take a look there all the way to the right hand of your screen, the enormous big bar there, putting him all the way at the number 1 spot, ahead of Jeremy Powers, ahead of Ryan Trebone. That would be you, the local riders from New England. Now moving on, the Mid-Atlantic, they'd probably want to see him up there in the top 10 somewhere. The rest of us, the average riders, cycling dirt, Colorado, we have him just about where he is, right around 14th and 15th. Finally, moving on to the West Coast, where he's somewhere between not on the list and who the is Justin Lindeen. Number 8 this week, Ben Burden, the Belgian rider, goes 2nd and 3rd at Cyclo-cross in Irvine. Great ride for him, switching it up with Todd Wells there. Number 7, Jamie Driscoll, 44th place at the World Cup. A tough ride for Jamie. I think he might have got caught up in that little start line controversy along with Tim Johnson. If you guys didn't see the videos or you didn't read about it, you saw there was a cameraman right there on the start line in their faces, keeping them from going around. So tough ride for Jamie. Number 6 this week, Todd Wells. He's back to cross. Great ride. 3rd place on Saturday at Cyclo-cross. 2nd place, battling out with Trebone. Quick shout out, guys. Cyclo-cross 7th place on Saturday. Not in our rankings because he's not really a cross guy. He's not going to do any more cross, but 7th place, Brian Lopes, the former dual slalom world champion, one of the best starters in the sport of cycling, period. Great ride. Got to give a shout out to him. Number 5 and number 4 this week, Jonathan Page, 21st place at the World Cup. Tim Johnson, 20th place. You gotta love that rivalry. Going all the way from New England over to the Czech Republic. You gotta think those guys were throwing some elbows and going at it all race long. Tim Johnson maybe could have even had a better race. Again, we talked to him. He got caught up in that bad start. Here's what he had to say about it.
That was the absolute worst start I've ever had in any race of any kind. I was on the right side and there was a camera person. Yeah. With the camera and the wire and everything, standing right in front of us when the light changed. And I was literally last place in the start line.
20th place, great ride at the World Cup. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was winless Timmy. Couldn't even go top 10 in North America. Then we go top 5 in the USGP. Now top 20 at the World Cup. Maybe could have even gone better if you had followed the advice of Anthony Clark.
2 to go, someone goes, you're 20th, and I was like, shit! So I freaked out hard. I caught up to the zebra guy Kit. I passed him, and then I freaked out and passed one more guy on the climb up there. Made it to the finish at 18th.
Number 3 this week, Jeff Kabush didn't race this weekend, but still riding high off that great weekend in Fort Collins. Now, your top 2. I don't know, a lot of you guys still think there's controversy here. I think it's pretty solid. A top 10 at the World Cup. Your number 1 rider this week is Jeremy Powers. J-Pows, Trebone, great weekend for Ryan, goes double win at Cyclo-cross in Irvine. It was a close battle though. He had to fight it out with Wells, he had to fight it out with Ben Burden, still took convincing wins, but nothing in the US can top a top 10 at the World Cup. They're still close, they're still within millimeters, it's still a 52-48 swing in the favor of Powers, but for now, we're going with it. Still on top, your top dog, undefeated, Jeremy Powers. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Week number 5, who's number 1 is in the books. We got some great racing coming up. We got Maine, the new Gloucester UCI races. We got another World Cup in the Czech Republic. It's gonna be huge. Can Jeremy Powers improve on top 10? Can Tim Johnson go inside the top 15? Can Katie Compton do it again? Can Katarina Nash win the World Cup while it's still in the Czech Republic, her home country? I don't know, we'll see, guys. As always, thanks for the love. Go ahead, click that Facebook button, click that Twitter button, grow the show, grow the sport. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, race cross, be awesome.